Now it's time to practice what you have learned in this section. So here's your first exercise. I want you to create a function called sum that takes a varying number of arguments and returns their sum. We can pass one argument or two or three or more. So here we should get 10. So do this first, and then to challenge yourself, modify the sum function to be able to accept an array and still return the same result. Now, as part of this challenge, you need to detect if the argument that is passed is an array. To do that, we use array.isArray method. So let me show you how this works. We can call array.isArray. If we pass an array object, we get true. If we pass anything else, like a regular object, we get false. So pause the video. When you're done, come back, continue watching. All right, let's create this function called sum. Now, to have a varying number of parameters, we use the rest operator. So ... items. Now we can pass as many arguments as we want, and this spread operator will convert them all to an array. So we have an array. To get the sum of items in an array, we can use the reduce method. So items.reduce, we pass an arrow function, a and b goes to a plus b. And finally, we return the result. Now let's call this function. So console.log of sum of 1, 2, 3, 4. Save the changes. We get 10. Beautiful. Now let's work on the challenge. So if we pass these arguments in an array, with the current implementation, instead of getting 10, we get the array itself. Let's see why this is happening. So in this function, I'm going to log items, save the changes. So items is an array of arrays. Look, here we have an array, and the first element in this array is this array of numbers. Because I told you that the rest operator converts whatever we pass here into an array. So because we're passing an array of 4 numbers, this rest operator would put this array inside of another array. And that's why we don't get the sum of these arguments. How can we solve this issue? Well, we need to check to see if this items array has a single element and the first element is an array itself. So we can do something like this. If items.length equals 1, and we want to see if the first item is an array. So array.isArray, we pass items of 0. If that's the case, we need to flatten this structure. So instead of having an array of arrays, we want to have just an array of numbers. How do we do that? We use the spread operator. So we reset the items to a new array, and we use the spread operator to spread items of 0, which is another array. That's the array we have here, right? Now, let's save the changes. We get 10, beautiful. So we can pass an array to our function or individual arguments, and either way, we get their sum.